Yes, so basically I realised that Perth was pretty great, and the work that we make here is pretty great, and I want to base myself here, create it here with the awesome people, with the awesome opportunities, and then tour it elsewhere. And recently, myself with my theatre company, Weeping Spoon Productions, street plug, we went to Canada. We performed a show, Greed, in Canada, and we didn't really know what we were doing. We luckily managed to secure some funding, and we just kind of went over there going, I don't know if anyone's going to think this is any good. We are from Perth, but we were just overwhelmed with the response to the piece, and overwhelmed that there was people who were wanting to come and see it and wanting to tell us that they thought it was great, and it really kind of helped validate us. And I mean, that's kind of what it's quite difficult in Perth, because we're so isolated, to get that kind of validation, because you have to go a long way for it, or people have to come a long way to give it to you. And I mean, it happens all over the world. You need to sort of go elsewhere to get recognition, which is kind of a weird thing, but it happens. So that was something that really, I was just so happy that other people thought that we were doing a good job. And it just reaffirmed that I think Perth is producing some great things. And also, there was lots of shows over there. I'm trying to decide what to keep in and what to leave out. There's lots of shows over there that were self-sustainable, and people just tour for like 6 to 9 months doing independent theatre, and with great shows, and that's what they made a living. And I thought, that sounds like a good idea. I'll make shows in Perth and do that, you know, peddle my wares elsewhere. And speaking of self-sustainable stuff, I just want to make a quick acknowledgement to Sugar Blue and the Big Hoo Ha. I think I'm just so in awe of organisations like that that can consistently produce such high quality work and reach and contribute so much to the artistic culture of Perth and be completely self-sustainable. I think that's just amazing. And something that I really want to aim towards as an artist, although I do think that development without self-sustainability is important, but you know, that's something that I'm getting another little wave. Okay, so, and so while I was there, I was trying to think about how we can get Perth to have the kind of audiences that can sustain independent theatre to be self-sustainable. I said sustain a lot then, sustain. And it comes down to the amount of audience and the fact that the audience respects the theatre scene enough to go, I'm going to go out, it might be rubbish, but it might be good, and I'm just going to do that because that's worth my while. And that's a hard thing to just have happen. But by the way, when I say respect, I don't mean like the sort of 80s and 90s postmodern, self-important, this is my blank canvas with a dot in it and it speaks to your soul, and if it doesn't, you're a bit of an idiot. Is that a wrap up? Oh, crud. Yeah, so not in terms of that, because I think that's alienating and does more damage than good. But recognising as important contribution to society, something that I gained from travelling. I didn't necessarily have to gain this from travelling, but it kind of ties in and gave me more perspective on what I do, is I was doing a workshop overseas, and the lecturer, I'm over time, oh no, sorry, this is probably part 2 now. Hi, welcome to part 2. And I was doing a lecture I was taking a workshop overseas, and the lecturer spoke to me about a study that he heard about where some scientists, which makes it legit, were doing, so analyse the essential things to, of what humans need, like food and drink and air, and the idea of stories and art really came into what's essential to human survival, and what distinguishes us from animals as opposed to, you know, survival, it's, you know, living. And I thought that was amazing, to think of what I do as something that's essential to human existence is, you know, kind of a little bit weird, because essentially it's just glorified dress-ups. But it's something that's a bit more than that. You know, there's cave paintings, there's, you know, tribal dances. People need to tell stories and receive stories. It's so important to our existence. And so I kind of, and theatre is the most one of the earliest forms of this, you know, communication of these stories and, you know, understanding this bizarre existence. And so I kind of now sort of see my craft, because a lot of people think of, especially my age, that when you, I should be a farmer or a doctor or a fireman or something that contributes tangibly to the world. and you kind of feel a bit shit that most of the time you're just entertaining your friends with far too many resources when there's other more worthy causes. But I do sort of, I think that it is a very important part of human existence, and that it needs to have that kind of respect. And I kind of see myself as like a little gourmet meat dealer. You know, not everyone's going to like what I'm doing, but you know, I'm still working on that awesome art burger that, you know, that everyone's just going to love, and they're going to have it, and then they're going to feel inspired and full, and go, oh, I'm going to shop there again. That was tops. And yeah, so there we go. Stay tuned for the art burger. Sorry, I had to do this in 2 parts. I'm sorry. I told myself I wouldn't.